What is it that everyone you've ever met wants more than anything else? What is it that you want more than anything else? My guess is that it is happiness. We all want happiness. I've yet to meet a single person who, when asked what they want more than life, said, I want to be the most unhappy person you ever met. Like, it just doesn't happen. Now, I've worked customer service for the last 10 years, full and part time, and have met thousands and thousands and thousands of people from all around the world. I've had some incredible conversations with hundreds and hundreds, possibly thousands of people from all around the world. And I have noticed that the most happy of us, those of us who are the most happy, have four common traits, or they do four things. And those of us who are the least happy do not do these things. Now, some of us who are the most happy might only do three of the four, and those of us who are unhappy might do one or two of them, but the most happy do all four, and the least happy don't do any of these four. And for simplicity's sake, I have categorized them into an acronym. And that acronym is HEAL, as in, if you get injured, it is a good idea to heal yourself. Now, the first one, H, is actually heal, and it consists of forgiving as well as making amends to those you have harmed. And the reason this is so important, I think, can be easily expressed in a story, which is called The Splinter. And the story goes, there's this young man going for a walk in the woods, and he steps on a piece of wood and gets a splinter in his foot. And he could very easily pull the splinter out of his foot, but he decides not to. He could pull it out, he could wash the wound, put a Band-Aid on it, and in a matter of hours, it would be completely healed. However, he decides not to, leaves it in. And it's a little sore to walk on, but not too bad. The next day, it's a little bit more red. There's some reddening. It's a little bit more painful to walk on, but he doesn't. And that continues on for about a month, and now it has become infected, and it's really painful to walk on. However, he still decides not to do a thing about it. And then after about a year, oh my goodness, why can't I think of it? The infection has spread, and now it has become a huge problem. He might even have to get his foot amputated. The same is true in us when we do not forgive and we do not make amends. It festers inside of us and eats away at us. And the same goes for the people who we have harmed that we have not made amends. Very important, very important. I found that the happiest people I've ever met, and when I am most happy, we immediately ask for forgiveness. We immediately apologize, and we immediately forgive. We don't, at least when I'm the most happy, is when I don't hold a grudge. I just think about, this person hurt me in a time when they were a different self. It was in the past. They've grown now. They're a new person. They're better now. And so to hold that grudge would be absolutely pointless, because they are no longer who they were at that time. The second thing is happy people elevate their character. E, obviously the second in the acronym. They elevate their character. They're constantly trying to be a better person. They're constantly trying to help people. A saying I like to tell myself often is, we are at peace when we are doing nothing wrong. For me and for those around me, when we've done something wrong and we have not corrected it, you just know, it just sits inside of you and it eats away at you. But like when you're doing nothing wrong, like when I'm doing nothing wrong, I'm very happy because I don't have to think about, I'm not distracted by the harm that I've done. I can just focus on the moment. I can focus on the now. I can focus on those around me. And part of that, I think a good thing to mention is just being outwardly focused. I think good people are very outwardly focused. They focus on others. Tony Robbins says it all the time that anything, any pain or any hurt that you have is because you are focusing on yourself. You are focusing on the damage that's been done to you. But as soon as you look outside of yourself and you look at others, you can't concentrate on pain. You can't concentrate on harm because you're not thinking about yourself anymore. You're thinking about them. The third is, let me see, what word did I choose to use? Advance. Advance. And that is, happy people are advancing their lives forward. They are moving forward towards their dreams, their goals. And something very important to mention is that their goals and their dreams, their aspirations, deal with helping mankind or the world or the universe. They're helping others. Their goals and dreams aren't focused solely on their own benefit and own enjoyment. They think bigger than themselves. I guess, think about it this way. Which would you prefer? Being the only person on Earth and having this massive yacht, this massive mansion, all the cars, all the motorcycles, anything that you enjoy, having it all. Imagine having it all, but having no one to share it with. Or having very, very little, but being able to share it with anyone you wanted to. Me personally, I would want to be able to share that with other people. Life, to me, seems very, very pointless if it's just self-centered and focused. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Into the Wild or read the book, but that I can't think of his name at the moment, but the gentleman's conclusion before he passed away was happiness is only real when shared, and I think he was absolutely right. I've been in some amazing places, done some amazing things, but was by myself doing them, and they really lacked the fulfillment and joy that could have been. And I've done some slightly enjoyable things in some slightly interesting places with incredible people, and they've been some of the most amazing moments of my life. All right, last thing, in the acronym HEAL, the letter L is leave. They leave behind that which does not service them. They leave behind that which does not benefit them. They don't spend days and days and days hanging around people who are in a bad state of mind. They don't invest moments, precious moments of their life doing things that are negative or unproductive or unconstructive. They leave that all behind. Some areas that I would suggest leaving behind is, like as I just mentioned, people. I believe we just hit 7 billion people on the planet. There's a lot of people. If you're hanging out with someone who doesn't have your best interests in mind and doesn't really have anyone else's best interests in mind, why are you hanging out with them? You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to be mean and, slap them in the face and be like, I'm out of here. Be a good person about it. But I strongly suggest considering spending much less time around them. Another thing is TV and social media. Now, these do have their benefits if they are moving you forward. Like for me, I very much like sports, so I'll take time every now and then to watch one of my favorite teams play a game. But TV as a whole is just, so many people close to me who very, very much love TV. 2-3 months down the road, we'll have a conversation and they'll be talking about all these nights that they spent watching this TV show, and their lives are the exact same. I mean, I'm sure they were entertained, and that's great, but their life hasn't changed at all. And for me, I look back, I'm like, well, I read 5, 6, 7 books. I went to these seminars. I, drove 500 miles to go to this seminar, this conference, and it was amazing. I met these people who have their, TV show or are starting their own companies and they're doing great, and I learn this from them, I learn that from them. And these people who have invested a lot of time into TV and social media, they cannot relate to that because they have not moved themselves forward. They have stuck with something that is not benefiting them. And I do it as well. We all do. We all have those things. Well, I won't say all, but probably most of us have these things that don't really service us, don't really benefit us, and they hold us back. And removing them, the nice thing about removing them is as soon as you cut certain things out of your life, you have time and room for other things. So that it's like, well, now that I don't spend 2 hours a day on Facebook and Twitter and blah blah fucking blah, whatever. Sorry, pardon my French. Whatever it is, I now have 2 hours. It's like I could spend half an hour reading. I could spend half an hour working out. I could spend half an hour listening to some motivational coaches, or some Jim Rohn, some Wayne Dyer, some Tony Robbins, whoever you like. You can do that while doing this. I can now clean up my house half an hour a day while listening to this, or go out for a walk, and I can pick up an instrument, whatever. It's just amazing what you can do when you remove useless activities and replace them with constructive ones. So, just a quick recap. The happiest people I have ever met in my life, and when I am most happy, there are 4 qualities, 4 traits, 4 characteristics that are taking place. Number 1, healing relationships. Life is all about relationships. Make them as best they can be. 2, elevating character. Working on bettering ourselves to become the very best we can possibly be, which is, there's not a finish line here. For years I thought there's a finish line. That was a mistake. But the nice thing is you can always get better. It's awesome. 3rd, advancing towards dreams and goals. And this is such a huge attribute towards happiness. Just incredible. It's the difference between going to bed at night bored and sad and waking up and being groggy and not knowing what you want to do, to having trouble sleeping because you're so excited for the next day that you just want to get started, and then waking up and just flying out of bed, making your bed, do what you got to do, and just immediately getting your day started. Like, just a huge difference in happiness. And then lastly, leaving just the negative behind, which is basically like removing weights off your shoulders. All right. Have an awesome day. Thank you for listening. I hope your life gets better because of this.